Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters video. Alright, one last entry here for this go around, and then I'll give this a brief rest, start focusing on some other topics and other videos. Thank you so much for your suggestions. This one that I'm picking now was actually one of the past ones as well. Another one that I can't believe that I missed. So again, anytime you don't see your suggestion picked now, at least by all means know that it's going to be sometime in the future. There's a very good chance that it will be picked again. I like this one because it has to do with a prospect of, in this case, another dinosaur, a living dinosaur of sorts, which is quite popular, it seems like, in my videos. But this one in particular gets me excited because it could be the idea of a long lost dinosaur related to the Spinosaurus. Those of you that have seen the Jurassic Park movies, especially the third one, know that the Spinosaurus has a huge role within that film. So imagine something like this still out there in this world, in this case in the Congos, then you'll have an idea of what my excitement is. I always love living dinosaurs, but to have it be in this case one of the largest, most ferocious ones yet, that is to me amazing. And it has to do with this creature that has yet again another insanely hard name to pronounce. In this case it's called the Nguma-monene. I hope I'm saying that correctly, but yes, this is the dinosaur that I'm talking about that's supposedly located somewhere within the Republic of Congo. So here is all the information tied to it. So what is this Nguma-monene? Well, again, it's a creature that you have to go straight to Africa, in this case straight to the Congo itself, and it has been around for a very, very long time. Here's how it's described though. There are multiple variations of it, including its size, and the reason for this is because no one has been able to get a really good look at it. There have been some good testimonials, in this case also from a pastor no less, which to me at least helps add some credence to it, not on necessarily 100% face value, but at least it does give you a sense that somebody that's I guess respected had seen this and then reported on it. But yes, there are multiple variations. The one key thing though, and the one thing that ties it to the Spinosaurus, has to do with this. So it's a large lizard of some sort that has been seen both wading in the waters and also going onto land, which again ties into the Spinosaurus. But the biggest thing has to do with its back. There's supposedly a very large serrated ridge located on its back, directly on its back, almost fan-like. Although some versions of it, if it's not fan-like, then it's actual ridges, almost like, in a weird way, Godzilla-like ridges. So either of those versions seem to be the ones that people state, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's not a Spinosaurus directly, but it could be an evolutionary, I guess, upgrade from the Spinosaurus itself. And then with regards to other things as far as its characteristics, the way that it was described was it's very big. In fact, one of the witnesses that I was mentioning earlier, this pastor, he goes by the name of Joseph Ellis. He saw this creature in 1971 straight there in the Republic of the Congo, and when he saw it, he only saw parts of it. In other words, he saw the back of it with the fin, with a very large sail on it. He saw parts of its tail as well, but he was not able to see its neck or its head. But judging by what he saw, it was at least 10 meters long, so very large. This is something that's not going to be just a tiny thing just roaming about that's hard to see. No, in this case, the size of this, the portions that he at least saw being 10 meters long, gives you an idea as to its length. And then also its tail alone happened to be about 1 meter thick. So again, also very, very large. The color of its skin seems to be also grayish brown. And then others that have described it stated that it seems to have a low slung body. So in other words, its legs aren't quite exactly as long as you would see, I guess, from another dinosaur, because the way someone stated it was, in this case the same pastor, Joseph Ellis, he said this animal never seemed to raise itself sufficiently after leaving the water. So the way he described it made it seem like this creature, this tiny legs, were perfect enough to get out of the water, but not enough to rise above the ground completely. Just like your average lizard. When you see a lizard today or scurrying about the ground, whenever it does so, it's just slightly elevated from the ground itself. And then those ridges that I was mentioning earlier, if they're not associated with the giant fan on the back of its back, then in other places it seems to be a triangular shape or a diamond-shaped ridge of some sort too. So that is another, yet again, variation of it. This creature is also very fierce. It's been stated that it loves, in particular, hunting hippos. Like, that is its main delicacy. In fact, any known place that involves hippos as a congregation of sorts, that's where this creature, this Nguma-monene, this again long lost cousin of the Spinosaurus, seems to frequent because it loves doing so. In fact, another sign of finding this creature happens to be the way it can cause tracks on the ground. And there was a field of some sort, a manioc field, I hope I'm saying that correctly, that people have found and reported these tracks measuring about 1 to 1.5 meters wide. So it gives you the idea that this creature is not a small one again. Yet again, there's another version of this creature where it doesn't have any legs. Instead, it's just simply aquatic, but it does have the ability, I guess, to somewhat slither throughout the ground, at least above the water, if it needs to, in other words. So imagine something like that too, that could have caused these very same tracks within that field. If it didn't have those legs, it was just slithering like a snake almost above the ground. But yet again, that is another version of it. So those two sightings, one was in 1961, the other one was in 1971, were both eventually reported by a biologist named Roy P Mackel. He himself has tried to find this long-lost creature, this long-lost Spinosaur cousin of sorts. He led 2 expeditions straight into the Laikula, if I'm saying that correctly, swamps, also located within the Republic of Congo, to try to find it, but no such luck, no such evidence associated with it. But at least in his case, he tried. There was another encounter even earlier than that. An old man back in 1890, quite a ways back, stated that he was fishing near a stream called the Kibi stream, and that he saw this creature as well. The way he described it was a creature eating from a tree. It seemed like it was either on the water, stretched upwards into the tree, almost like a snake, in other words, elevating its head from above the water, unwrapping itself around the tree almost. But he too described it as being a very large creature, its neck alone as thick as a man's thigh, and that he noticed that its neck also had a much lighter coloring underneath it too. The neck itself, the portion that he could see above the water, everything else was underneath the water, was in of itself 8 meters long. So again, if that's that one single portion that he saw of the body, it was 8 meters long. Imagine how long the rest of the body was too. He also was able to state that this is a creature that loves hunting hippos. In fact, he stated that if you cannot find of hippos, it's because in certain areas it's because of this creature, for it absolutely kills them. But yes, that's at least all the known sightings of this quote-unquote living dinosaur of sorts, this long-lost Spinosaurus. Very, very exciting when you think about it, because if you have something like this, that's just an evolutionary step forward from the Spinosauruses of who knows how many millions of years back. It could have absolutely adapted to the jungle around it. Maybe it lost its legs through that evolution, or maybe its legs became much smaller due to the adapted needs of the jungle. But yes, still very, very exciting to me. By the way, it's also been stated that this thing could be misinterpretations of various other cryptids. So if you could believe that, cryptids of a cryptid. In this case, it could be related to one called the Mokele Mbembe. I hope another word, I hope I'm saying it correctly. Another one is the Dimetrodon. It's been also been called the Badigui, and if you want it even more so, it's been called the Diba, the Songo, and then one more name that I found, the Moro Ngui. So all these words of this crypt seem to be tied to it, but for the most part, the main word, or I guess the main name of it, is the Nguma-monene. But yes, very, very interesting information. Love sharing it with you here. If anyone knows any more info that I haven't tapped, if anybody wanted to comment on that below, please post this and post that information. That'd be really great to hear. One last thing about it too, it's been also written in a book called On the Track of Unknown Animals by a gentleman named Bernard Hoovermans. So yet again, another instance of it being documented within, in this case, a printed article. So lots of good info. Alas, no known actual photos of this creature. Seems to be very, very elusive. Just something that to this very day, hopefully someone will be able to catch its existence on video, on photos, whoever, whatever is the case, and then help try to prove that yes, there truly is a living dinosaur still in the Congo, but in this case, something along the lines of a Spinosaurus. So, alright everybody, thanks again as always. Take care.